Hello, soul family. I love you all and hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. I'm Jeremiah, and you're tuning into Secrets of the Sacred Serpent, where we discuss all things spirituality and the occult. Today's topic is signs of spiritual growth. Before I get to all that, I just want to check in with you guys and see how everyone's doing. I haven't been live streaming a lot lately because I've been extremely focused on my spiritual path and just my life in general, but I hope everyone is doing well. I would definitely like to thank everyone who is subscribed to the channel, new members. I have 123 subscribers now. It just blows my mind because, as I had said before, this channel was actually originally created just to basically teach different members of my coven things and not having to reteach the same topics over and over again. That way I could just, when each person got to a certain level in their spiritual growth, I could just send them a link to the video. And so, that's like about 13 people. So got an extra 110 on top of that, and I love you guys. I'm really grateful to have you as my audience. But today we're going to discuss signs of spiritual growth. A lot of people, when they get on the spiritual path or they start to practice magic and start walking the path of self-deification, self-mastery, and coming into the state of self-God realization and understanding that they are just a part of the universe, before they get to this state of understanding, a lot of the times people come into it with ideas and stuff that come out of Hollywood, and so they view magic and spirituality as something that is mostly external based, and they're expecting to be able to control people with their mind immediately, or be able to do things that kind of lost train of thought, but do things that are extraordinary in the external world. So they expect to be having superpowers like all these people were talking about on December the 21st and all kinds of other things. But the real signs of spiritual growth are internal. So we'll just go ahead and start with a few of the different things. When you really start to walk a spiritual path and really start to work on yourself, one of the first things that you're going to notice is that certain habits and addictions or different negative thought patterns, things that are no longer serving you, will literally begin to fall off. So you will see things where you used to struggle, things that used to really bother you and really be a hindrance to your growth, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, you name it, energetically. I don't know why I'm having a hard time holding a train of thought today, but you will literally notice these things become so much simpler to understand. I think I know exactly what's, I'm actually gonna go inside and finish this stream. Got an audience, but the signs. I knew there was something that kind of was holding me back from being able to really speak, and all these people standing over there staring at me, and I just want to come in here and be able to fully speak about everything without worrying about my girlfriend's neighbors out here freaking out. Because another thing you'll notice is when you're on this path, a lot of people will look at you like you're crazy. When you try to tell people that you're a part of the universe, you're a part of God or Source, they look at you like you're crazy, because so many people in the world have externalized the divine, and they don't understand that the divine resides within them. They think that their soul is something separate from the universe, separate from God. And so anytime you claim your true divinity, then you will have these people pretty much attack you. And I definitely live in the Bible Belt, so pretty much everybody around here, outside of the spiritual and pagan communities and Hindu communities, but it's primarily a Judeo-Christian area. But you will definitely start to notice that the things that used to be a serious struggle for you, something that used to really be hard, addictions that, you know, you just felt like you could absolutely never break, end up just falling off. And that's when you're doing this great work. Another thing that you're going to notice, and while I get into this, I just want to go ahead and state that the true great work is alchemy. So being able to turn, and true alchemy isn't like chemistry where you're mixing plant matter and chemicals and stuff together. The true alchemy is something that happens internally. And what you're doing is you're transmuting these lower thought forms, these habits and addictions, these states of consciousness, states of awareness. You are basically transmuting the things that used to no longer serve you, those thoughts, those addictions, those patterns, the way that you interact with the world, the way that you view people's opinions of you, seeking validation. There's just literally so many different things that change when you really start to walk this spiritual path. You will definitely notice that your thought patterns change. Your mind in general changes. You will gain a much more positive outlook on life. You will definitely not avoid things that people consider negative or non-beneficial, because you understand that there really is no good or evil, no right or wrong. There is just beingness. There is just existence. And transmuting these ways that you view things, your perspective is going to change tremendously. And probably one of the, a lot of people think, oh, we need to raise our vibration and get away from anything considered negative or whatever, but that's just spiritual bypassing. If you're trying to avoid any negative experience or any negative circumstance in your life, you need to understand that there's no getting away from chaos. Chaos resides within everything. Without chaos, there cannot be order. Like, God truly should stand for generate, order, or organize, and destroy. So this is also connected to the Trinity within Hinduism of Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. So all three of these aspects must be here in order for any of this to truly exist. So to neglect or deny the destroyer aspect of yourself or the universe, and viewing things as black and white, God and devil type things, that will not serve you. And if you are doing this spiritual bypassing and not doing the shadow work and dealing with your traumas and dealing with your habits and addictions and your thought patterns, and you're just trying to quote unquote raise your vibration to where you don't have to deal with suffering, you're in for a rude awakening, because there will always be some sort of suffering within the world. It's through the law of duality or polarity, the Hermetic principle. One cannot exist without the other. It's kind of like darkness and light. The one needs other in order to contrast the other, and in order for the other to exist. I'm trying to get where I'm going here. So, passing the whole idea of spiritual bypassing, as long as you are doing the shadow work and everything, this is the next step to where you really start to see a difference and start to recognize your growth. And it's not with, oh, just I'm happy all the time or everything's amazing. The real way to be tested and to see if you have really spiritually grown is by being put in the muck, being put in scenarios where in the past you would have a extremely intense reaction. People with anger problems or anxiety issues, you will be the ones to notice the biggest difference whenever you're put in these situations, because if you are really truly doing the work, doing the meditation and yogic practices, diet, making sure that you're eating properly, eating live whole foods, taking care of your temple, because your body is a temple. A lot of people think that they are their body, but the truth is your body is just a vehicle for your spirit or soul to experience this physical realm subjectively, and gives us the illusion of separation. But the true times that you will notice whether you have been really doing the work or not is whenever someone that you love close to you dies. And you'll feel the emotions most definitely, but when they die, you will view it a lot differently. Not saying that it won't hurt, but you understand that there is no true death. There's only life after life. People say, is there life after death? But there is no true death. Death is just a transition period from here back to where we came from, back to source. So you will definitely notice a big difference in the way that you do mourn. So you understand that they're not gone. You understand that, if it's part of your ancestors, they will be coming back and communicating with you for sure. Another thing is whenever you have someone that you really love or really care about argue with you, or have someone you really care about betray you. And in times before, when you would either fly off the handle and argue or scream, and during these times you actually find yourself going inward and really asking yourself, why in the world am I letting this affect me? This is something I can't control. It's something outside of myself. So why am I allowing this to get me into a state of anger or anxiety or sadness or depression? You really start to question these things, and you will get to noticing this for sure. You'll see that, hold on, I have changed. This is not the old me. The old me would react. The old me would, when something traumatic happened or something intense happened, like I said, with arguing with people or people talking about you and stuff, and you'll literally start to talk to your inner self and be like, wow, I've really, how am I going to handle this? How am I going to react to this? You have that pause, especially if you're practicing meditation. You're not going to be so reactive. So it's not going to be something happens and then you jump to conclusions, jump to a reaction. You will get to where you question yourself and say, hey, should I do this? And that what's happening is that inner voice, your intuition, your true self or higher self is actually speaking to you. And most of the time, people just don't even notice it. When they're not doing the spiritual work, they don't even notice whenever their true self is telling them and guiding them to where they need to be and showing them the way that they need to act and the way that they need to process these things. But that still small voice is so quiet and so subtle that unless you quiet the mind, unless you become still, you'll never be able to hear that voice. But you'll notice, if you've ever dealt with addiction, whenever you're doing this practice or these practices, this great work, the magnum opus, you're really walking the path of self-deification, understanding that you are a part of the universe, experiencing itself subjectively through you, and you understand that we are all one. This is kind of lost train of thought right there, but this is another thing. You'll notice how you treat people is different. You will have so much more love for everyone because you understand that that person outside of you that you could have reacted weirdly to or done something wrong to, you understand that that's you. Behind that mask and behind that costume of a body that they are wearing, you understand that that's really you. So anything that you do to someone else, it's that you're actually doing it to yourself. And when you come into this state of understanding and understanding that everyone else is you, it makes it very difficult for you to ever do something wrong to that person, because especially if you have self-love, because you're going to understand your true self, that you truly are source, and you will definitely react differently. And like I mentioned earlier, that's what it was about, addictions and stuff. You know, if you've ever dealt with an addiction, what happens whenever a trauma from your past triggers you, or someone does something really upset to you? You go to a state of escapism, to where you want to drown those sorrows and those traumas within the alcohol or drugs that you're using. And when you're walking this path, you won't have those urges to go out, because like I said before at the very beginning of this video, these addictions and habits and routines that you have and thought patterns that run through your mind, when you really transmute those energies into something that's actually benefit you, then you're not going to need to chase and escape, because you've done the work. You've done the shadow work. You've dealt with your traumas. So when somebody does something that regularly would have triggered you when you didn't do the shadow work, it's not going to trigger you or make you actually go into a state of destruction, where you're doing things negatively to yourself because of something someone else did to you. I really think that's probably going to be it for this video. I'll probably come back on and because I've been meaning to read a couple of these chapters in Dharana Darshan with the Ajapa Dharana practices, because I know a couple of my coven members are actually ready for those practices. So I'll probably come back on here in just a little bit and do a reading of a few of the practices. But these are just a few things that you're definitely going to notice when you're doing this great work. Your reactions are going to be different. Your actions are going to be different. The way that you view the world, the way that you view death is going to be different. The times that you would regularly choose escapism in order to not have to deal with your problems, you'll find yourself connecting with the deities or spirits or just the people in your life, your loved ones, and you will find something beneficial to do in order to help you grow and to not ignore those problems, but give yourself space to express those. Find somebody to talk to if you do feel triggered, because like I said, when you're doing this great work, you're not just going to jump off to conclusions and jump immediately to things. You're going to stop and think. Your mind's going to be in a non-reactionary state. And that's definitely not all of the things that you will notice. But these are the biggest things that you're going to notice: is a different in the way you think, a different in the way you act, a different in the way that you react, different in the way that you express your emotions, the difference in the way that you express your love to those around you that you care about. The great work is truly transmuting and transforming those things that you viewed as traumas before and problems before and you transmute that into something beneficial, something that gives you growth. Because even when you get into those states where things seem like they're going wrong, instead of viewing it as something going wrong, you view it as a space for growth. You view it as a space for evolution and transforming yourself more and more as time goes by. And the more that you do this work, you will recognize your old self less and less. You won't feel like the person that you used to be. You won't feel like you are this body. You understand at a deeper level that you are just an expression of the universe experiencing itself subjectively so that it can experience itself outside of itself, because we are all one. But I love you guys. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Like I said, thank you again for all my new subscribers. I really hope all these videos help you guys. And if anybody has any questions or even comments, things that you see within your life of spiritual growth since you've been walking this path, leave it in the comment section down below. Let's see, whoops. And I love you guys tremendously. Become your greatest version. Become what you came here and incarnated here to be. Because if you don't do all the things that you meant to do when you incarnated down here, and you don't really walk this path, you're definitely going to reincarnate in order to fulfill those goals that you set before you came here. But I love you guys. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. Oh. Yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I love you guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Like if you liked the video. Like I said, comment or leave your questions down in the comment section down below. And I'll definitely be back here soon and to bring you guys many more videos about spirituality and the occult. And this is about spiritual growth. I love you guys. Peace.